It's April 2nd, JLD here, and welcome to MSTR Today. It is the day after April Fool's Day, and be honest with me, were you fooled by anything yesterday? There were some posts on X that were pretty tricky, I will say, but that day is behind us now, and it's time to lock in. We're going to talk about cash versus Bitcoin today, so definitely an interesting topic. We'll be diving into the Schelling point, exactly what that is. And again, why is now the time to lock in? This is coming from Matt, somebody who I really respect. So you're going to want to check this out. Two epic video clips from Michael Saylor. And this video is not financial advice, but please do comment below. Let me know where you're watching from. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know a comment for support. I appreciate it all. Thank you for everybody who commented yesterday what you think the yield percentage for MSTR is going to be in 2025. Got a lot of great guesses. My guess was 42.1%. Again, we're currently at 11%, so feel free to drop in the chat today. This will be the last day that I'm collecting submissions to show at the end of the year who was closest. So put in the comment section your guess for the yield percentage for 2025, and let's dive on in. And today's first post is from Michael Saylor, who says, "Don't be a fool, buy Bitcoin." And this was yesterday. This was April Fool's Day. Just a little nice piece of humor from Michael Saylor. I mean, come on. Michael Saylor's coming at us with this kind of stuff. I love it. Thank you, Michael, for first off, giving myself and other people the opportunity to invest in MicroStrategy, now Strategy, MSTR. I'm very excited about the future, and I'm excited on how excited Michael Saylor is just seemingly about life. It's pretty cool stuff. Strategy wants us to know that the Mag 7 is sitting on green cash, while Maxi MSTR stacks orange sats. So what does an orange sat look like over a 1-year return? Well, how about 83%? And then all the other companies that are sitting on cash, not quite as good, especially Microsoft, not quite as good at all. And guess what? Tesla, who has this 54% return, well, they're actually sitting on the most by far Bitcoin, over 11,000 Bitcoin, I believe at last count. They're sitting on. So this could be a reason why they're almost doubling up their second closest competitor, Apple, but almost getting doubled up by MSTR. Let's go. Chris says, strategy is a Schelling point for passive Bitcoin exposure. A Schelling point is a solution people naturally converge to without coordination because it's the most obvious option. Bitcoin is the Schelling point for digital money, the solution that individuals seeking decentralized money naturally converge to. Strategy is the Schelling point for synthetic Bitcoin, the solution investors seeking indirect exposure to Bitcoin naturally converge to. So what is strategy? A Schelling point for passive Bitcoin exposure. All these individuals, they're going to naturally converge here because this is the answer. Period. End of story. The Schelling point explains. Bit strategy. The average purchase price only matters when you have low conviction in a trade. When you have high conviction, you prioritize total position size instead. Strategy considers each Bitcoin purchase as an immediate accretion of value. The value capture is instant. Price can be high, price can be low. In itself, this is irrelevant. It is the level of accretion per share and the aggregate increase in our stack which matters. And I can tell you, as somebody who's been investing in MSTR and strategy for a while now, it's the same thing every single time. Oh my God, why did Michael Saylor buy Bitcoin at 86,000? It's only 84,000 today. He could have just waited a couple of days and bought it lower because he's not trading Bitcoin. He's buying Bitcoin. He's stacking Bitcoin. These exact same individuals were like, oh man, why did Michael Saylor buy a Bitcoin at 56,000 and now it's at 51,000? He could have bought it at 51,000 if he just waited. You're completely missing the point. Saylor doesn't care about a couple thousand here or there. Do you think he cared when he bought it at 21,000 and it went down to 19,000? No, because that 21,000 now looks pretty awesome, doesn't it? Like a 5x or at least a 4x today. So think about the strategy of strategy. Buy as much Bitcoin as fast as possible. Accrete, stack. He will never stop stacking. Michael Saylor and strategy will never stop buying the top. And everybody who sits there and just says, if he just followed this model, they're missing the complete point. It's all about stacking. It's all about the amount in the stack. And I feel the same way about shares. Like I am just trying to get as many shares as MSTR as I can reasonably possible. That's the goal. So I really love this post from BitStrategy. Chris says, time for another reality check. A lot of people are expecting Strategy to trade at an excessively high NAV premium in this cycle because they are comparing it to last cycle. They're forgetting that Strategy is a totally different company in 2025 than it was in 2020. Strategy only began optimizing for Bitcoin yield and Bitcoin per share post the July 2024 Q2 earnings call. That is when Saylor truly began to understand the opportunity that he is now capitalizing on. Strategy hasn't traded anywhere near its peak of over 6 since it did so in 2020. It deserved to trade at a slightly higher NAV premium compared to late 3.5x in November 2024 because there was more Bitcoin yield to capture. For what it's worth, Saylor has explicitly stated that he thinks Strategy will trade at 2, 3, 4x the value of his Bitcoin holdings. And he says this in this attached video here. Long term, 2 to 3x his holdings in dollar terms seems rational to me because Saylor is incentivized to capture the premium so he can accumulate more Bitcoin, the ultimate goal. Again, accumulate more Bitcoin, the ultimate goal. On a true Bitcoin standard, though, and over a long enough time horizon, it trends towards 1. Those who think otherwise are setting themselves up for disappointment. And here's Michael Saylor going ahead and saying just that.
So like, could I raise 100 billion, 200 billion dollars of capital? Sure, I could. And if we raise hundreds of billions, then we'll buy Bitcoin with it. We'll have 500 billion of Bitcoin and the market cap of the company will be 2, 3, 4x that.
2, 3, 4x that. This next post from Matt says Bitcoin and MSTR closed above their 20-day moving averages. Lock in. MSTR closed below the 20-day last Friday, and Bitcoin closed below on Saturday due to tariff fears. The market loves certainty, and the leaders are leading in this reversal. New all-time high in June. This is what Matt is predicting. He's somebody who I do follow, and I subscribe to his premium newsletter. He's just a very, in my mind, methodical, conservative. He's not overhyping everything. He just looks at the facts. So I like his takes, and I wanted to share it here with you today. And here's the final post today from Chris, who says the strategy thesis can be distilled down to 2 simple questions. 1, will the adoption and price of Bitcoin continue to appreciate? 2, will strategy continue buying and leveraging Bitcoin? If your answer to both questions is yes, the only thing you need to do is hodl. And guess what? I can tell you for sure, 100%, my answer to both of these is 100% yes. Will the adoption price of Bitcoin continue to appreciate? Absolutely. Will strategy continue buying and leveraging Bitcoin? Absolutely. I mean, to me, both of these are 100% inevitable. Again, to me, this is my opinion. These are my thoughts, but it's absolutely inevitable. So all I'm doing is hodling because these are the 2 questions. And all I do is hodl. That's it. Now I have 2 great video clips from Michael Saylor as soon as we get back from thanking our sponsor. So check it out. I know we're all looking to stack more Bitcoin and MSTR, and to do that, we need more fiat. So let's chat about our sponsor, ShipStation. We all know the market can seem pretty chaotic at times, but if you're in charge of order fulfillment for your business, you already understand chaos. While we might not be able to help calm the chaos in the market, ShipStation is here to help when it comes to shipping and fulfillment. I've used ShipStation to easily automate shipping to customers around the globe. My favorite part about the platform, managing orders in one simple dashboard makes an otherwise massive task feel pretty darn simple. Plus, ShipStation not only integrates with the services and selling channels you already use, it's also the fastest, most affordable way to ship products to your customers. ShipStation hooks you up with discounts up to 88% off UPS, DHL Express, and USPS rates, and up to 90% off FedEx rates. Calm the chaos of order fulfillment with the shipping software that delivers. Switch to ShipStation today. Go to shipstation.com/MSTR to sign up for your free trial, or click the pinned comment below this video. That's shipstation.com/MSTR. And thank you for supporting our sponsors that allow myself and my team to continue to produce these daily videos for you for free. Now back to the show.
I've been watching the industry for the past 4 years or so. And I think there's been a lot of confusion, a lot of controversy, a lot of conflict, and confrontation that was all unnecessary. And it was unnecessary because of a sort of a lack of vision and a lack of creativity amongst the policy makers and the participants. So, for example, in a world where the only assets that exist are securities and commodities, and in a world where it's impossible for any innovator to issue a security, then everything has to be a commodity. And that means a token is a commodity, a currency is a commodity, a tokenized security is a commodity, and a commodity is a commodity. So what we had was people very confused, thinking, well, is Bitcoin a currency competing with the dollar? Or is Bitcoin something different, a store of value competing with gold? And then is Bitcoin competing with Trump coin or any other token or not? And what's the next Bitcoin? And so I think the crypto industry was at odds. A lot of people that want to be issuers of tokens are forced to go through this kabuki dance of pretending they're decentralized when they don't really want to be decentralized. What they want to do is access the capital markets, and they haven't had a way to do it, and we haven't had that discussion. So in my framework that I've laid out, and this is after hundreds of meetings and talking to people in the Senate, in the House, in the SEC, in the CFTC, in the White House, every industry participant, all the Bitcoin investors, all the crypto investors, all the crypto exchanges, all the policymakers. After lots of conversations and after listening to every word uttered by Gensler, by all the regulators, after listening to every minute of congressional testimony, here's my opinion. My opinion is the industry will move forward in a cheerful, constructive way with the greatest good done for the greatest number of people on Earth if we define 4 new asset classes. And they would be a digital token, a digital security, a digital currency, and a digital commodity. I have prepared a new presentation. A few years ago, I created one called the 21 Rules of Bitcoin. This one's the 21 Truths of Bitcoin. And preparing for this, I asked myself, what is true today in the year 2025? And perhaps what are the truths that the mainstream world, the mainstream media, traditional investors, politicians, people that are just getting familiar with Bitcoin, with digital assets, what is it they don't know that seems very, very clear to me that I want to share? And so I've gathered my favorite 21 truths of Bitcoin today, and I'm going to start with the first. Bitcoin's an ideology. Freedom versus slavery, innovation versus stagnation, sovereignty versus dependency, property versus poverty. It's a very powerful ideology. It's spreading the entire world, and there would be no Bitcoin without the ideology. It's capitalism versus socialism. It's the individual versus the collective. It pops up throughout human history. We see these themes for the last thousands and thousands of years. You see these themes in the writings of the Austrian economists. You see these themes in the writings of Voltaire and the intellectuals of the 19th, the 18th, the 17th century. You even see these themes in the Constitution of the United States. The founding fathers had this ideology, and you'll see it echoing throughout Bitcoin.
And there you have it, another episode of MSTR Today. Truly hope you enjoyed. And listen, yesterday I bought a 0.719 share of MSTR at $292. This is my continuing buy of $210 every trading day for 2025. Every Sunday, I share with you my entire DCA portfolio. I was down, I think, 9 or 10% this past Sunday. So we'll see where it goes. But I'm locked in and committed to this. And I hope you are locked in and committed to MSTR, to Bitcoin, to our future, because as I like to say, it's inevitable and that's bull with a Bitcoin B, because I'm very bullish on the future. That's just how I choose to be. It is my opinion. It is my belief. It is not financial advice, but it is important that you are curating the people that you surround yourself with. Who are the 5? Because you are the average of those 5, whether you like it or not. And as Michael Saylor loves to say, there is no second best.
What's the second best? There is no second best.